Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Mike Talks ASMR. This is a continuation of our gaming series and is part 1 of WWE Smackdown Shut Your Mouth. And it's the first time that I'm coming to you doing a soft spoken voice, but I thought that since this game is so fundamentally different from everything that I've done so far, I would try something different with my voice too. So, this is a wrestling game. And wrestling, as you could see probably from the video repeating on the screen, wrestling is interesting. It's like, I don't know how to describe it really. If you've never seen it, imagine a soap opera, but it's violent. Especially back in this particular era of wrestling, it was definitely, a lot more violent than it is now. But yeah, it's like people, they get into a ring, kind of like a boxing ring, and they beat each other up. And there's a storyline involving that. So yeah, it's like a violent soap opera. So yeah, and the matches are scripted. However, it's still really interesting even though it's scripted because you don't know who's gonna win. Is it gonna be the baby face, which is the good guy, or the heel, which is the bad guy? Because most matches are typically babyface versus heel. Okay, so with that little explanation out of the way, let's get to playing WWE Smackdown Shut Your Mouth. Is this the first wrestling game I've ever played? No. But this is the first wrestling game that I actually genuinely enjoyed. I borrowed it from a friend for like 2 months. Not even joking. I love this game so much. And he wanted it back eventually, and I didn't get this game again until years and years later. Of course, they made more wrestling games, but because this one had such a huge impression on me and was honestly probably from my favorite era of wrestling, it just, I don't know. Yes, there are better wrestling games, okay? Like SmackDown versus Raw 2006 or 2007 technically are better, but at the same time, I don't know, I love this one. So, firstly, we begin a season, and in the season, you can pick your favorite wrestler. So, we have The Rock. You might recognize him outside of wrestling now as Dwayne Johnson. He's an action hero now. The Rock in wrestling at this point was a babyface, and he was probably the most popular wrestler at this point in time. If not the most popular, he was definitely up there with the likes of Steve Austin, Triple H, The Undertaker, who, as you can see, is the WWE Undisputed Champion, and Hulk Hogan had actually made a comeback at this point, but I don't think you can select him yet. I think you have to earn him. So, who are we gonna pick? I mean, there's tons of wrestlers here, and I can explain more about their personalities as we go along, but it's always difficult to pick. It really is always difficult to pick who to go with. You know, I love Steve Austin. Um, Triple H is a really good person to go with. The Undertaker is good, and he gets kind of a unique storyline because he's already undisputed champ. Um, but oh man, who we gonna go with? Who we gonna go with? Yeah, I'm gonna pick somebody, but I want you in the comment section to tell me who you would have picked because I find that to be really interesting, and I might do like two concurrent storylines or something like that. So, oh gosh, this is difficult. The Undertaker's so good. There's Brock. You know, I'm gonna go with Brock. Brock Lesnar. Now look at that face. Look at that face. And tell me that is not ASMR. He's just got ASMR written all over him. I mean, wouldn't you love a guy that looks like that to read you a bedtime story? I mean, he has to have that face on the entire time though. Like seriously. Oh yeah. Okay, so Brock Lesnar. Yes, I'm sure. Brock Lesnar it is. So not every single time, but it often gives you tips. So here's the first bit of storyline. So that is, if you don't know, that is Linda McMahon. She is Vince McMahon's in real life wife and also wife in storyline. Unless they got divorced or something at this point, like in storyline, but I don't remember. But she is her role in storyline is that she's the CEO of WWE, whereas Vince McMahon is the president. In reality, Vince McMahon runs the WWE, just outright. So she says, "Good evening," and you can hear the King. That was Jerry the King Lawler talking. The guy before was Jim Ross. They're the ringside color commentators. So this is supposed to be like a real like episode of WWE Smackdown. So she says, "Tonight we will witness the first ever World Wrestling Entertainment Draft." Yes, a draft. Kind of like, you know, football, baseball. Baseball doesn't have a draft, does it? Well, basketball does. Football, basketball, things like that. She says Vince McMahon will represent SmackDown and Ric Flair will represent Raw. So this is kind of mimicking an actual storyline that they did in wrestling where it was basically set up when Vince McMahon in real life bought out the rival company called WCW. And in storyline, they had his son, Shane McMahon, actually be the purchaser of WCW. And this led to a whole WCW invading WWE angle. And eventually led up to Ric Flair, who was a wrestler, a very popular wrestler, buying WWE Raw. Essentially, he bought half the company, and he controls Raw, which is WWE's flagship show on Monday nights, whereas Vince McMahon represents SmackDown. And SmackDown, I believe, was airing on Thursdays at this point. But in any case, let's continue. Both Mr. Flair and Mr. McMahon will take turns picking superstars for their respective brand. The entire roster will be available for selection during the draft. In the interest of time, only 20 picks will actually be made live tonight. A lottery will be held immediately after Raw to determine the placement of the rest of the roster. If you would like to skip the initial draft, press the circle button at the top 10 draft selection screen. The undisputed champion is not eligible to be drafted, and due to a contractual clause, Stone Cold Steve Austin is not eligible to be drafted either. So they had to come up with that in storyline with Stone Cold Steve Austin, because in real life he was having problems with the company and he actually didn't show up to this episode of Raw. He kind of no-showed. So they came up with that little bit last minute. I mean, think about that lore-wise, though. Like, Stone Cold Steve Austin, a year before this even happened, somehow knows that they're going to have a draft, and he has it put in his contract that he can't be drafted. I mean, dude's smart, right? So, some superstars don't take part in the draft because of injury. Thank you for your attention this evening, and best of luck to all the WWE superstars. So, we are... Do we want to select a brand, or do we want to skip the draft and edit both brands? I know it makes more sense to just skip it and edit both the brands, but, that doesn't seem fair, really. So let's go to SmackDown. I want to go to SmackDown. I know, what an idiot, right? Who goes to SmackDown? Any wrestling fan knows you should go with Raw. Since I, Vince McMahon, defeated Ric Flair in the coin toss, so on behalf of WWE SmackDown, I, Vince McMahon, choose. Well, he said that really fast. I'm sorry. We are Brock Lesnar. Maybe we shouldn't, have him draft us, because it'd be kind of funny if we're editing SmackDown's roster and we end up getting drafted by Raw. That'd be pretty funny. Let's go with The Rock, since The Rock really was, the inspiration for SmackDown. It's his show, so The Rock. And if this weren't ASMR, I'd give you my best Vince McMahon impersonation. Oh, The Rock's upset. He's sad. He wanted to go to Raw. I never want to see The Rock sad. That's terrible. That breaks my heart. He is going to pick the man who's the cornerstone of WWE. And his number one draft pick for WWE Raw is... Who is it? There it is. Oh, we're sad. We wanted to go to SmackDown. Oh my God, I knew that was going to happen. So we're editing SmackDown's roster and we are on Raw. Oops. That's honestly pretty funny. I expected him to go with Triple H or something like that. So he's going to make his second pick now. Okay. And who's he going to pick? Who is he going to pick? Now, I could be like a huge cheater and have him pick all terrible people, or I can have him pick all the really good ones, and then Ric Flair gets stiffed, and then I have easy competition. Let's see. I am going to have him pick. Did Triple H already go? I didn't see him on here. Did I pass him? Did I pass Triple H? Yeah, I don't see him on here. That's weird. That's really weird. Okay. Well, who should we pick then? If not Triple H, let's give him Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle's really good. And if we don't have to wrestle him, that's even better. Well, Kurt's happy. Finally somebody's happy, right? My goodness. I'm about to be happy. I got some Gatorade Zero here. Oh, that's good. Okay. So, he picks Rob Van Dam. Okay, that's cool. So we got the Intercontinental Champion on here. Okay, so who else is he going to pick? You know what? He's going to pick Chris Benoit. Because I don't want to wrestle Chris Benoit either. There's a very, very disturbing and sad story involving Chris Benoit. And if you don't know it, I suggest going and looking it up. Watch the show called Dark Side of the Ring about Chris Benoit. They have a two-parter about him, and it's unbelievably sad. So the next person to represent Raw is who? Kane. Okay, that's an odd choice. Oh, Kane's sad. Everybody keeps being sad. It's really depressing. Okay, so what are we gonna do? We could give him the tag champs, but I don't want to give him champions because I want the championships. So I'll give him good wrestlers, but I'm not going to give him champs. I can't believe we got picked for the opposing show. That's just... Got Booker T, Bradshaw, it's Bubba Ray Dudley. Let's see. Who? Got Edge and Eddie Guerrero, pretty good. I mean, they're all pretty good, don't get me wrong. Let's give him Booker T. Booker T's a good pick. Booker T was five-time WCW champion. So Booker T gets picked, and he's neither happy nor sad about this, which is, I guess, the best we can hope for at this point. Okay, Ric Flair's next pick is Chris Jericho. Okay, that's a good pick. Okay, let's give him Eddie Guerrero. Another very, very sad story. Actually very tied into Chris Benoit's story. Okay, so he makes his pick, Eddie Guerrero. And Eddie is very happy. He's elated. Look how happy Eddie is. That's so great. That's so fantastic. Okay, here comes the Nature Boy's pick. That's his nickname. That's Ric Flair's nickname, is the Nature Boy. Okay, so his next pick is Christian. Okay, that's an odd choice. He was very elated. He could be. Let's see. I don't even know who the tag champs are at this point. I don't even know. I feel like it's so bad. Like, I feel like we have to give him one belt, right? Let's give him the European champion. Let's give him William Regal. I'm probably not picking the best for Vince McMahon, but hey, whatever. We're not on his show in the end, right? For Raw to truly be Raw, he's got to pick this superstar next. So who is it? The Big Show. Ooh. The Big Show is big. He's like over 7 feet tall, like 400, 500 pounds. Very big man. So let's also give him the Cruiserweight champion, because I don't even think we can compete for that belt anyway. So the next person who represents the SmackDown brand is the Hurricane. And the Hurricane is a superhero. Yes, that's right. He's the superhero. Hilarious stuff. I love the Hurricane. So he's going to introduce his next pick, and it is Edge. Edge is a good pick. You might know him from Vikings. Vikings? Was it Vikings or was it Game of Thrones? No, I don't remember. I don't watch either show, but he's in one of them. Okay, so who else is he going to pick here? Who else is Vince McMahon going to pick? Let's give Vince McMahon Jeff Hardy. That's always a good pick. The Hardy Boys, both Jeff and Matt, very good wrestlers. I think Jeff still wrestles for WWE, and his brother Matt is over on the new rival promotion called AEW. So now the Nature Boy, Ric Flair, is going to choose another person, and his next choice is Rikishi. Okay, that's fair. Rikishi's a giant Samoan guy, so yeah. And now I'm going to give him Matt Hardy. So he will have both of the Hardy Boys. Although I think at this point in wrestling they weren't even together, but I'm not entirely sure about that. I think Matt might have turned heel or into a bad guy at this point. Okay, so Ric Flair is going again. And he is going to pick... who is it? Test. Okay. Test is a big guy. Big man. Okay, last pick for SmackDown. The last pick for SmackDown. Who's he gonna pick? Let's give him let's give him. Who are we gonna give him? Who are we going to choose? Mark Henry? Nah. Go. Nah. Devon? Nah. No. Not Bubba. Let's give him the hardcore champion, Bradshaw. It's not a belt we're really going to be competing for anyway. So it just makes sense for him to take another champion. And Bradshaw's elated. Yes. Yes, I don't have to wrestle Brock Lesnar, thank God. Oh, Vince apparently just made a big mistake. And now he picks Rhino. I kind of think Nature Boy Ric Flair is the one who made the big mistake there, but okay. So the draft is over. The rest will be determined by lottery. And we have our Gatorade Zero Sugar. Take another sip of that. Okay. So the video's running a little bit long right now, but I think that we are going to at least get one match done. Now, bear in mind, I have no idea how to wrestle on this game right now. Like, I'm not lying. I'm not joking around. I don't remember how to do this. It's been so long since I have played this particular game. Oh yeah, and I probably won't get a match done because you will see in a second. Oh, we're getting approached by the Nature Boy. What does the Nature Boy want? Hey, Brock, I'm really glad you're on WWE Raw. You know, when I was the champ, I had to travel some rough roads back in my day. But at the same time, I was able to accomplish my dreams and the dreams of many fans out there. I believe that you have that same vision. I'm expecting you to do well on Raw, alright? I won't say that because that's going to be loud. Woo. That was the worst woo ever. By the way, I'm thinking about nominating you as the next challenger for the Undisputed title. Nice. What do you think? I couldn't ask for anything more. Okay, go out there and show me a great fight. Just like when I was the champ. Alright, nice. Okay. Yeah, we get PS2 era loading times. Okay. So, the thing about this game, you will notice, that is different from every other wrestling game, is that you can walk around the arena and you can randomly encounter other superstars and talk to them. So let's talk to Chuck. That's his name, Chuck. Chuck is a big, muscular guy, but flamboyant. Brock, are you gonna go to the next stadium by car? Do you want to ride with me? Think about it. Okay, that was nice of him. Alright, that's probably setting something up for next week. I would guess. I would guess. Okay. Maybe him and I are going to be partners. Alright, so you go to the arena and you can actually interfere in other matches, but we won't do that because there's no point in that. So we are going to give our best shot in wrestling Rikishi. And I really don't remember how to wrestle on this game because I'm used to the system in place for like Smackdown versus Raw. Okay, well here's that's a little bit of help, I suppose. Okay, so here we come. Look at us. Oh, he's so intense. I love those realistic graphics. I don't know if this is the case in real life, but in this game, Brock Lesnar has disproportionately long arms. But Brock Lesnar's like genetics when it comes to being an athlete. He's got like the perfect genetics in real life. And there is Rikishi. That's a nice shot of his butt there. Well, one of Rikishi's signature wrestling moves is he gets you in a corner and then does what's called the stink face. He rubs his massive buttocks in your face. Okay. That seems to do something. Okay, alright. Maybe we can figure this out. Doesn't seem to be too challenging. Look at us. We're destroying him. Oh, yeah. Oh, we go for a clothesline and miss. Got him that time. Okay. There's a clothesline. Okay. Gotta pick him up. I don't remember. These are called backbreakers. I'm not entirely sure how to, if there's like more moves you can access. Okay, here's some ground moves. Oh, I forget what that move's called. I think he eventually just calls that the Brock Lock. There's another clothesline. Let's climb to the top of the turnbuckle. And that was called a flying elbow drop. Okay, so we're choking him now. No technical definition for that. That was called a double axe handle smash. Oh, and we are in an Irish whip situation. That was called a release German suplex. Thank you, King. That is a camel clutch. Made famous by the Iron Sheik. Right now we are trying to reverse these holds. Although I don't quite remember how to do that in this game. That was just a knee to the gut. Just flat out. Okay, what do we get here? Okay, that's the camel clutch again. Whoopsie. Okay, Rikishi's mad about the camel clutch. And that's a clothesline again. Okay, what do we got here? Is that called a monkey flip, I think? I don't know what the heck that was. What that was supposed to be. I'm not entirely sure how to get the finish. Like what the trigger is for Brock's finish. That was called a scoop slam. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what the trigger is because you have to get your opponent. That's a backdrop. You have to get your opponent in a certain position essentially, to perform the finish. And now we're going to suplex off the top turnbuckle. Okay, there we go. Double tapping. Oh, picks him up, and he's stunned. And that finisher was called the F5. And now we're pinning him. And we got the pinfall. 1, 2, 3. And now, since we're the heel, we're going to beat him up after the match. Look at how rude we are. Look at this. Look at this vicious beat. Brock Lesnar leaving a message to all would-be challengers. Okay, and that's the win. So I am going to call this an end to this part. I hope that you enjoyed it as much as I did. Let me know what you think of the game, what you think of the soft-spoken version of Mike Talks ASMR. If you like it, or if you just want me to do whispering forever, that's cool too. Just let me know. Just leave your comments below. And if you'd like to give me a big thumbs up, and if you haven't already, please subscribe and hit the bell icon so that way you can be notified of when the next part of this comes out. Okay, everyone, have a good night and sleep well. Good night, everybody.